Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hazeeq, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Solana. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen. Now let's jump straight into the TA. Taking a look at the daily chart, you can see that we had a bearish divergence playing out here, but that really didn't lead into anything, and we just continued pumping here, and we printed a new local high for Solana. Now that local high is printed at $126, and we did not even have a bounce off of the 20 EMA, which is obviously going to be our support band in this uptrend. And you can clearly see that we have been bouncing off of the 20 EMA multiple times when going through this uptrend. Now the trend is obviously going to break, or I should say we are going to be seeing a retracement, and a deep retracement at that. But that doesn't mean we cannot continue pumping before that happens. Now, a major resistance level for you to take a look at here is going to be $136, which is this April 2022 local high. Once we're able to get above that, I would say it's going to be very, very clear that the all-time high is going to be taken out soon after that. But until then, we could see a retracement off of that level, and we could come back down and potentially land on a support level below. Now let's assume we ran into $136, which at this point is very possible. We would have a very nice support level here at $79, but that would be 42, almost 43% from that local top potentially. But just in case, you can set up some buy limit orders in advance, because we might see a flash crash, we might see a wick below that price and then a retracement back up. And you just want to make sure that you can catch that price, in that moment once we have the dip. That's why it's important for you to set up these buy limit orders in advance. Now, if you want to assume that the current low is the actual low that we have, and we're not going to be going above it, then you'd have the 0.236 at $73 here. But again, we can't really use the fib in this situation because we haven't even broken below the 0.236. So we'll remove the fib for now, and what you can do is you can zoom in on the daily and take a look at this trend line over here. We had two bounces off of this trend line, actually three if you want to be precise, and then we broke above. Now we do want to come back down and retest that level as support. That's going to be a nice area for us to come back down to, around $91.50 to $90, because typically what happens is you break above a resistance level and then you come back down and retest it as support in an ideal situation. But I want to be honest with you, I do think we're going to be losing this white trend line at some point. So it's possible we could have a short-term bounce off of that, but in the long term, I think we're going to see a deeper pullback before we continue to the upside. That's just a logical, conclusion to this entire thing, because you can't be pumping forever. Bitcoin is going to have to see a retracement as well, and all we have to do is sit back, relax, and buy the dips when we have the opportunity. Now, if you were following the channel, and I keep mentioning this just so you understand how important it is to know where to buy, we were talking about these levels here way before we even dropped down there. We have had these support blocks on for a very, very long time, and then once we started dipping there, your buy limit orders could have been filled already, right? Because you set them up in advance. And then we also had this area here, and we, back tested it a few times before we moved up. So if you were following the channel and you did your research, you set up your charts, in a proper way, you would have been able to get all of these nice prices, and you are in profit. Personally, I don't have any Solana. I wasn't looking into buying, to be honest with you, but I'm not going to be buying at these prices, definitely. So this is not something that could be called a smart decision, buying at a local top after a move of approximately you know, like almost a 10x in 6 months. You don't really want to be doing that. You don't really want to be buying at that local top, because we could see a retracement. We could see a 30% retracement, and then your entire bag is down 30%. Of course, we could pump before that, but the risk to reward is not in your favor in this current situation. And one thing you can also do is take a look at these local tops here. So we have a local top that we ran into twice in December, just last month. So that's sitting at $75.96, and that's this level here. So we broke above it, and now we could come back down and retest it as support. The same could be said about this local top here. As you can see, from November 16th, we broke above it. We did have a nice back test here. We did wick down a few times, but then we continued, and there's no telling if we're going to be coming back down to it or not. But just, you know, just in case, you can have that as another support level there. So that's pretty much it for the daily chart. Not a lot to cover. Beautiful uptrend. Like I said, we could get all the way up to $136 at this point. There's no telling as to when we're going to stop, but keep your eyes peeled on the ETF news, because we could have a buy the rumor, sell the news type of event with the ETFs getting approved. The daily RSI is also sitting at a pretty high level here, and we're holding this support trend line, and we just keep bouncing off of it. And I would just, I would just wait. I would just wait until this is broken, and then we potentially could look at either this trend line to be retested here, this low at 43.6 on the RSI. That could be a nice entry. And of course, you don't have to trade based on the RSI alone. You have to take a look at the chart and see if the price is sitting at a support level, and then the RSI is sitting at 43. Then you can kind of come to the logical conclusion that that is a good buying price. Now let's jump into the weekly chart. And before we continue with the video, I quickly want to mention my Patreon that's linked down below in the description. If you enjoy my content, you want to get more exclusive content, and you want to support me at the same time, definitely feel free to check out the Patreon, because you're going to get a 7-day free access on my Patreon and an instant access to all of my content since October 2021, which is when I started. You'll get access to content like exclusive weekly podcasts, and we're starting to invite guests already. We have 40 plus low cap gem posts. We have a bunch of project reviews. We have a bunch of resources that are going to help you save time and make more money with this upcoming bull market. So this is definitely a great exchange of value for the both of us. And once again, there's a 7-day free trial. Feel free to check it out. You can leave anytime, and let's continue with the video. Taking a look at the weekly, very bullish chart here. As you can see, we blasted through the golden ratio. We have a bullish cross ready, and the bull market for Solana is confirmed as far as I'm concerned. Now, we do have a minimal target at $600 here, and this is the 1.272 Fibonacci retracement. And I think it's fair to say that that is a very, very doable target, as Solana is showing it's capable on standing on its own 2 feet without FTX. So we just need to break above this April 2022 high, and then we have the all-time high, and after that it's going to be uncharted territories. So we could, we could be seeing these types of moves, as you can see, just extremely bullish, and we're seeing them already, to be honest with you. Like, this is extremely bullish for Solana. So if you were buying in at these levels, congratulations. Once again, $600 is going to be our minimal target in the bull market. If we take a look at the RSI, it's extremely overbought. The stochastic is extremely overbought. And if we take a look at the MACD here, you can see we're pretty much going parabolic. So I would just be careful if you are, once again, looking to buy right now. It's probably not going to be the best time to do so. I am still expecting a retracement before we get to the Bitcoin halving. I'm expecting some sort of a drop because there are a lot of long positions opened. Market makers and exchanges can't resist but liquidate all of those long positions before dropping, and then, having the next leg up in the upcoming bull market. Let me know what is your average buying price into Solana. Let me know what are your targets to the upside. And yeah, once we get a dip, feel free to start dollar cost averaging in. I gave you a few support levels anything below $70 is essentially a steal, and the 20 EMA on the weekly is your friend as well, because that's going to be our bull market support band. And also feel free to take a look at the golden ratio here at $73 with this large fib that we've got set up for the bull market. So that's all. Stay safe and take care.